What's up? This is going to be a weird one. Sex. So, well, sex is a subject that is addressed a lot in the Bible. Song of Solomon's pretty raunchy, and there's a few other bits as well that are quite explicit, so we should probably talk about it, because it is something that does cause trouble, especially in relationships, obviously. First and foremost, wait. That's my best, most intense advice is wait. Wait till you're married. Sex with one person is just a lot better in so many ways. I'm not even going to get into it. If you really want to know, you can ask me, but there's like 100 different reasons why God says to wait and not to have sex until you're married. You just avoid so much drama and pain, and your life is a whole lot harder. Once you start and you're outside of marriage, life's going to get very hard. So just trust me on that. Don't learn the hard way, because it's definitely true. And just ask anybody that's been around and then become Christian and settled down. Every single one of us wishes we hadn't been around. We wish that we'd just waited and done things the right way from the start. There's so many different things that I could go on about why that's a bad idea. But use your brain. You deep down, you know that there's a lot of consequences that come from that. Second is, I'm just going to be brief and quick and try not to get too ew and gross, but this is stuff for people that are married. So sex is a beautiful gift from God. It's like we can use it to minister to each other when your spouse is like grumpy or upset about something. You can use that to cheer them up. It's something really, really beautiful that God's given us, and it's super precious and super important. That's why we need to wait for that one person rather than spreading your oats around. Bad idea. So, if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right. And I can tell you that it's going to be a lot better for you and your partner if you apply your biblical knowledge and your theology to sex. Sounds weird what I mean by that. Putting that person first, rather than your own gratification and pleasure, what feels good for you, and what you want to do. Put the other person first. This is men and women. You put their pleasure first, and you try to, ask them, talk to them. Communication is super important in sex as well. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I know it does cause a lot of problems in a lot of relationships. And me and Tani have had issues, and then when we talk about them, we sort it out, and it's all good. But you need to talk about it. You need to voice, if you're upset about something, or you would like something different, or whatever. Talk to your spouse and be really open and honest about them, and say, this makes me feel like this, I enjoy this, blah, 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 blah. Talk about everything. The more honest you are with your spouse, the more they're going to know how to please you. And if both spouses are focusing on pleasing each other rather than getting their own gratification and needs met, that's going to make the other spouse want to meet your needs at the same time. So it's this beautiful symbiotic relationship thing where both parties are working for the other person to make the other person enjoy themselves, and communication is gonna really help there. When the Bible talks about sex with your spouse, it says don't withhold your body. So there's always going to be somebody that has more sexual needs than the other person. The other person needs to try and meet your spouse's needs. Both of you need to try and meet your spouse's needs. If you're a once a week person and your spouse is once every couple of days person, you need to try and meet your spouse at that second day, and just, even if you don't feel like it, talk to them, have a conversation, like what gets me in the mood, what's going to help this along. And some, especially guys with big sex drives, some of us really need that to help us to focus on our wives rather than get sucked into the world. And I've done one on porn already, so you can go back to that if you want. Porn really does steal, kill, and destroy men and women. It just totally destroys your brain. It gives you brain damage. Porn literally gives you brain damage and makes sex a lot harder to enjoy. So stay right away from porn. Try and support your spouse. Obviously, if your spouse is highly sexual, young, lots of testosterone, they might be struggling with porn, and they should be talking to you about that. Say, look, I'm really, really struggling. If you and me get together and have sex every couple of days, I'm not going to get as tempted. And then talk about that. And then if that's working, thank your spouse for meeting you there. Because it's not easy. And when you got a ton of kids and stuff, you're not every third or fourth day might have to do, but we really need to be intimate with each other and loving each other and ministering to each other with sex, because it does work and it's an important part of our relationship. That's why it's addressed in the Bible. And as great as sex is for making babies, it's also a lot of fun, and it can be really enjoyable, and it can be your favourite hobby. And it can be a really, really, fun pastime if you get time away from the kids and whatnot, if you can fit it into your schedule. It's a lot of fun. But you need to make sure you're not putting pressure on your spouse as well. So if you're putting all these expectations that your spouse needs to meet for you to be satisfied sexually, they're going to feel under pressure to perform. They're going to stop enjoying it. They're going to start thinking, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? You don't want to be thinking that kind of stuff when you're in that moment. You just want to be going with it and enjoying it and having fun. That's what it's all about. So God bless, guys. I hope that helps. And be open and honest. Communication is a huge thing. Being honest about where you're at and what your needs are. Try not to be too demanding, and be sacrificial. Be sacrificial in sex, like you're sacrificial in love towards your spouse, and in life, and in everything, putting their needs ahead of yours. Try to do that with sex and with pleasure as well. And just keep being honest with each other and talking to each other through these issues. That's it, guys. A bit of a weird one, but hey, maybe it helps someone. God bless.